Hi to you all. I hope you are doing well in these horrible COVID times. What I want to talk about in this video is self-esteem. And in fact, I'm going to be doing a whole series of videos on self-esteem and confidence. A lot of them will be looking at how do you raise your self-esteem. I do, in fact, have an online course, ebook, which you can find out more about on my website, which is an 8-module course on how you can raise your self-esteem and confidence. As I said, you can find out more about it on my website, which is lifecoachingbusiness, all one word, .co.za. In this first video on the series of self-esteem, I'm going to look at what is self-esteem. Okay, the way I like to define it and the way most people see it is self-esteem is the personal judgment. It's my personal judgment of my worthiness and my capability to life. Now let's look at each of those separate parts. It's my personal judgment. Self-esteem is what I think of me. So you could be somebody and your family and friends think you're wonderful, you're valuable, you're talented, you're a kind, great person, and you can think you are worthless, useless, nothing. Then you don't have self-esteem because it's about your view of yourself. You may have business colleagues, customers, people you work with, business associates who think you are fantastic, who think you add a lot of value, who think you are really good at your job, who think you really are a worthwhile, valuable person. And you may think, oh, I'm never good enough. Everything I do for my customers is never good enough. Then you don't have self-esteem. You may believe you are a worthwhile and valuable person, and other people, perhaps your family or your work colleagues, think you're not. Then you do have self-esteem because it's the personal judgment you make over yourself. It's not what others think of you, it's what you think of you. So, with that in mind, the only person who can sort out your self-esteem is you. If you want to raise your self-esteem, it's going to happen because you decide to do the work and you commit to doing so. The next part of the definition is worthiness. It's my personal evaluation of my worthiness. Okay, self-worth. To have self-worth means I am worthy of being here on this earth. I am worthy of happiness. I am worthy of people caring for me and treating me well. I am worthy of having decent work. I am worthy as I am. I don't have to acquire things, be somebody different. Who I am is okay. And people who have a belief in their self-worth usually also think I have worth and value, and so do other people. Now, to feel that I am worthy, to have self-worth, is not to believe I am superior to other people. In fact, believing you are superior to other people is a sign of low self-esteem. When you believe you are worthy, you have no need to put others down. You are comfortable with who you are. So a person with high self-esteem is not somebody who thinks they're superior to others. To believe I am worthy also doesn't mean I believe I'm perfect. I can believe I'm worthy and still be very aware that I make mistakes, I have flaws, I have a lot to learn. To believe I am worthy does not mean to believe I am entitled. If I believe I am worthy of people being kind and loving to me, I'm not entitled to it. I work for it. So I can't be cruel and horrible to them. To believe I am worthy of having a decent job means I believe I'm worthy of it if I work for it and I put in the work. So worthiness is not about I am superior to you, I am perfect, I've got nothing to learn, or I am entitled to something. It is about believing I am worthy of being here, and I am worthy just as I am. I'm not worthy because of material acquisitions and money and things like that. The person who I am, the core of who I am, is a worthy person. So that's the first part of the definition. It's my personal judgment of my worthiness. The second part of the definition is about my capability to life. Now, in psychology, there's a term called self-efficacy. And self-efficacy really means that I believe I can do life. So this means that I am capable of going to school, and if I study, I believe I will pass. I am capable of practicing for my driver's license and getting a driver's license. I am able to study for exams, and if it's at an appropriate level to my intelligence, I will pass. I can move out of home, find my own place, and do all the things that adults need to do, pay my bills, and so forth. So capability to life is a belief that I am able to deal with life. It doesn't mean life is easy, because it isn't. Life is very, very hard. But it means I believe I am capable of functioning in life as a mature adult person. Okay, so that's the definition of self-esteem. Now, why does self-esteem matter? There has been a ton of research done looking at the impact of high self-esteem and what high self-esteem affects. And high self-esteem, of course, in terms of our definition, means I believe that I am worthy and capable of life. Now, what studies have shown is that if you have high self-esteem, you are more likely to have better relationships in every sense of your life. Intimate relationships, personal relationships, work relationships. You are also likely to be in relationships with other people who also have high self-esteem, because people with high self-esteem tend to attract others with high self-esteem. You are more likely to be more successful at work with high self-esteem. You are also more likely to be promoted and move ahead. You are more likely to earn more money, although it's not a sign of self-esteem, it's a consequence of high self-esteem. You are more likely to be in a job that you like, and should you be in a work situation that is something you just cannot stand or cannot bear, you're more likely to take the actions to get out of it. People with high self-esteem have better physical and mental health. They are better able to deal with change. They are more resilient. They are more resistant to the challenges and the problems in life. They are more likely to persevere and stay the course, and they deal better with challenges. So thinking about that, you really do actually want to have good self-esteem, because at the end of the day, if you have low self-esteem, most of your life is not going to work. If you have good, high self-esteem, most of your life is going to work, and if it's not working now, because there's all sorts of things that curveballs life has just thrown at you, you will be able to get it to work again. Now, just quickly, what is self-esteem not? I've already mentioned it. Sometimes you may read something and a person goes, oh, this one's got too high self-esteem. You can't have too high self-esteem. That is a little bit like saying you've got too much health. Arrogance, superiority, narcissism, needing to knock other people down, believing I'm better than other people, trying to control other people is a sign of low self-esteem. When you have high self-esteem, you don't need to try and pretend that you are better than others. You don't need to brag and boast and so forth. Most people who are forever talking about how wonderful they are and everything they've done are doing that to compensate for the fact that inside they actually feel quite worthless. So you can't have too much self-esteem. Narcissism, bragging, boastfulness, arrogance, as I've said, is actually a sign of low self-esteem. The second thing that sometimes people think self-esteem is about or is related to is material goods and acquisitions. It isn't. Some people think, oh, I'll feel better about myself or I'll feel more worthwhile as a person if I have a really high-paying job and I earn lots of money. No. Self-esteem is what you think of your worth irrespective of any of your material possessions or acquisitions. In fact, it's what you think of yourself once everything has been stripped away. So self-esteem is not improved by having more money, having a prestigious job, being married, or dating somebody that everybody thinks is, oh, we'd just love to have this person in our lives. It's not about acquisitions. It's not about things you have. It's about what you believe about yourself. Now, the last thing I'm going to say in this video about self-esteem is you can change it. The self-esteem we have currently is a result of our whole life and the interactions with people, what we've heard, what we've taken in that's been said about us, and how we have interpreted what has happened to us and been said about us. Self-esteem actually does change also depending on whether you're getting a lot of knocks or horrible things have happened in your life, because it isn't entirely stable the whole time. It can fluctuate. Although if you have high self-esteem, you will never go from high self-esteem to totally low self-esteem, even if the world knocks you a little bit. I'm going to deal in another video with how we actually end up with our self-esteem and what causes us to have the level of self-esteem we have. But to end off, I just want to say to you, understand you can do something about it. We have discussed all the wonderful things that can happen in your life and how your life is so much better if you have high self-esteem. Understand if you don't have it, you're not doomed. You can raise it. And that, as I said, is some of the things we're going to be looking at in future videos in this series. From my side, though, have a great week and stay well and be safe.